Well, this is John Black, Super Chemist. We're going to start a new playlist called What's the Matriarchy Compared to the Patriarchy? Okay. We are actually in a matriarchy right now. We are in the transition of going from a patriarchy to a matriarchy. It's been going on for the last 20 years. What's the main difference between a matriarchy and a patriarchy? Matriarchy is you have to have feelings over facts. Facts are no longer considered, they're actually considered racist right now. Uh, but you have to put feelings over facts. Okay? In a patriarchy, you have to put facts over feelings. That's the main, and if you're looking at all our problems today, why are biological men allowed into little girls' bathrooms? Just because they say they're a woman, or just because, and even if they are actually trans, so what? Their brain is female. The rest of them are still biological males. You know what I mean? But why do we let them into the? Because we don't want to hurt their feelings. Screw that little girl's rights and her feelings. We can't, because facts don't matter in a matriarchy. You know what I mean? Only emotions. Why do we open up the border to let in any piece of crap from another third world country into our country? Because we don't want to hurt their feelings. Why do we let murderers, why do we let the illegals beat up cops in Times Square on national TV? Because we don't want to hurt the illegals' feelings, you know what I mean? The facts don't matter, you know what I mean? They're going to destroy our society. What matters are feelings in a matriarchy. Now let's see here's you got two lists in a either hierarchy, either a matriarchy or a patriarchy, right? The matriarchy, and if you don't understand what a matriarchy and a patriarchy is, the man is in charge. A matriarchy is a woman is in charge. Okay, matriarchy. The matriarch means the mother. Patriarch means the father, the man. Okay, but there's two lists in hierarchies when it comes to both of these types of societies. Okay, in the patriarchy that we used to have, right? There's one thing called life importance list. Okay, what's that? That means the importance of life. Like who's more important, a man, a woman, or a child? When your life is in danger, like if there's a war, if you're on a sinking ship, you're in a burning building, you're a hostage. There's bullets flying in a restaurant. Whose life is more important? And that's who determines the hierarchy of the list. In a patriarchy, okay, a woman. Well, they always say the man is a patriarchy. Oh, they always put us up. No, man is never put up at the top of the list. Actually, in a patriarchy, if you know what a patriarchy is, okay. But if you don't know, then you're obviously a racist, against men, and you think that they put men at the top all the time. They don't. If you are in a burning building and there's a man and a woman, you're going to save the woman. Same with a sinking ship. Same with hostage situations. Same with anything. When it comes to someone dying, the man is going to die before the woman. And we will do everything in our power to save that woman and let that man die. You know what I mean? And then, of course, the kid is at the top of life importance. I'm sorry. In a patriarchy. In a patriarchy, a kid would be at the top, then a woman, then a man. Okay? If bullets are flying and there's a family there, the man is going to jump onto the kids and onto the wife. If he has to decide between his children and his wife, you should always pick the children. And it doesn't matter if you're a man or woman. You always pick the children over your whatever. You should. Okay? And in a patriarchy, you do. Okay, you always put the children higher than you. Okay, even if you're a woman, you put the children at the top of the life importance thing. Always. Okay. But what is it in a matriarchy? Okay, you had kid, woman, man in a patriarchy. in a matriarchy, the woman is at the top, then the kid, then the man. So if there's a burning building, you get the woman out. Screw the kids. That's why they divorce and they do all this crazy stuff, hurting their children, because the children are garbage in a matriarchy. In a patriarchy, children are the top of the list, baby. They're our future. They're our whatevers. They're whatever. That's what we die for them. But in a matriarchy, we can't even stay in a marriage for them. You know what I mean? We can't even stay in a marriage for these kids. And then they're just pieces of garbage in a matriarchy. And a man is even below that. He's useless as a piece of garbage. Okay. Now let's see for the hierarchy. Now that was life importance hierarchy. What about hierarchy of authority? Meaning who's in charge and who dictates and who whatever, who has the last word, blah blah blah. Now in a patriarchy, women would lead you to believe and want you to believe that in a patriarchy, a man is at the top of authority. The man can just make up any rules. He wants to beat that out of you, then he can make them rules up in a patriarchy because he's the king of whatever. No, that's a lie. Okay, it was never like that. Never, ever. Even when women were oppressed, okay, back in the day, it was never that men just had full autonomy of the law and of what's right and wrong and what they could do. They always had rules. There was always someone above them, okay? And in a patriarchy, the person that's at the top of the list is God. And if it isn't God, like you could say, well, I don't believe in God. Well, it doesn't have to be God. It can be the roles, the family unit, the you know what I mean? Like a coach, okay? A coach can't just molest the children on his little league coaching thing because he is the leader, but the leader doesn't have full autonomy of the rules. He has to follow the rules of how you coach. That dictates. That's the top of the hierarchy of authority. That has authority over even the leader because the leader has to stay within those rules, right? The coach has to stay. The rules are of coaching, you don't molest your children if you have a little league. You know what I mean? So if the leader, he can do it, but he ain't being a leader then. He's just being a pedophile. To be the leader, you have to stay within the hierarchy, and the hierarchy puts the rules above you. It puts God above you. It puts the family unit rules above you, okay? So the family unit rules, what helps the family unit is what's supposed to be at the top of the list, okay? I mean, what's the hierarchy of authority with women? First you have women, then you have kids, then you have the man, okay? And in the patriarchy, it's the man, woman, and kid, which makes sense, right? And you might say, well, women and men are equal, blah, blah. I'm going to get into that later when I go into what I know about men and women. And I think everyone should watch that video series when I get into that about men and women and family units and how they should operate and what blah, blah, blah. Because it goes against everything I used to believe. Everything I used to believe, I threw out the window. Because I can't, if I have data that contradicts what I believe, I have to change my beliefs, So anyways, notice in the matriarchy, both of these, the life importance list and the hierarchy of authority list, the woman is always on the top. The woman is always at the top of the list, and the man is always at the bottom of the list. And the kids are right in the middle, okay? But in a patriarchy, the man is never on the top. And as a matter of fact, he's on the bottom of the life importance list. He's dead last, okay? He's never in the top, okay? But anyways, like I said, the family unit itself is always above the man, whether it's on any list, where the woman is always at the top when it comes to a matriarch. Okay. So what else is the difference between a matriarchy and a patriarchy? One is that the matriarchy hates the family unit and it wants to destroy the family unit, whereas the patriarchy loves the family unit. The family unit is actually at the top of the list of anything. That's the whole reason to have a society. The family unit keeps the society together. Okay, but the matriarchy wants to destroy the family unit. And anyone can see that just by opening a window. Jesus. But I will get into that. Feminism, people think it's about equality. It has nothing to do with equality. And I'll get into that when I get into my playlist called Feminism. But feminism, started out like 1,000 years ago, 2,000 years ago. It's nothing new, really. But feminism in the United States or in the Americas, before the United States started in the 1700s, was actually started by self-proclaimed witches. Okay, and that's why you get this goddess thing, because they were actually Christians. They believed in the Christianity, but they hated God, and because they thought that God should be they didn't believe in Christianity. They hated Christianity because they believed that God was a woman. You know what I mean? And the matriarchy, blah 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 blah. But that's why they want to destroy the family unit, because the family unit is a patriarchal thing in the Christian religion. You know what I mean? They want to destroy Christianity. It's the number one thing. Destroy Christianity, destroy the patriarchy, set up a matriarchy, and they have one other thing they want to do. That's the main goal. I can't think of it. But anyways, that's the difference between the matriarch and the patriarchy. Here's another one. Once the matriarchy wants kids not to know who their father is. That's the definition of matriarchy, matriarchal society. No, the kids don't know, because if you give the father, if you know the father, you know the lineage. If you don't know who your father is, then there is no patriarchy. It's just a matriarchy. Because you don't even know who your dad is. You know what I mean? But that's not good for a kid, not to know who your parents are. That's crazy. See the difference? Patriarchy, they want both parents to know. They want the kid to know both their parents. You know what I mean? Matriarchy, they don't even want you to know they don't even want you to know half your parents. They wanted to hide that. You know what I mean? And how do they hide that? By being promiscuous. That's why they get that. They're empowered by being sluts. You know what I mean? Basically, okay? And I'm a slut. I'm not against sluts, but it's not good for your society. You have to admit that it's not. You shouldn't preach for other people and say, hey, you should be a slut too. You should be honest and be like, hey, man, being a slut ain't the greatest thing in the world. It's not good for society. But, some people are just sluts. So if you are a slut, that's great. You got to be a slut. But don't preach it like you're doing some great, you're empowered. You're not being empowered. You're actually being the opposite of empowered. Okay? Single mother homes. See, that's why 70% of Americans now are being raised by a single mother. A single mother. Yeah, that's crazy. I gave stats about single mothers in another video. What is it? 90% of runaway kids are from single mother homes. 90% of homeless kids. 90% of, I'm just making up numbers here, but they're all 80% or higher for these next ones, and I'm close with most of them. It's like 85% of kids that have social, mental disorders. 82% or something of kids in nut houses are from single mother homes. 70% of people that drop out of high school are from single mother homes. It's like 20 times as likely, or twice as likely to have a teenage pregnancy in a single mother home. It's never ending. The list goes on and on about single. If you got rid of single mothers, you literally would get rid of homelessness. 85% of rapists are from single mother homes. Like if you got rid of single mother homes, there would be no more rapists.